Hey guys, yeah, this is live. So I wanted to talk about this real quickly because apparently, with this whole hashtag COPPA, the Child Online Protection Privacy Act, or what or I guess that's what it goes by. I mean no offense when I say that. It seems that a lot of folks are kind of nervous right now. Um, Basically, a lot of people feel that this is going to bring upon the YouTube apocalypse, and I don't. I think honestly, as myself and others have pointed out, uh, a lot of us are kind of basically, kind of base. I think really right now, honestly, folks, a lot of people are making a big deal about too big of a deal about this, and I'm not saying they don't have a right to make a big deal. Trust me, there are people that have a right to feel nervous about what could come. But as I mentioned in my other video that I did during my lunch hour or towards the end of my lunch hour yesterday, I mentioned that people like Pixel Dan and others have discussed this, and basically they said that the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, who's behind this, along with other parts of the government, are willing to listen to what people have to say. And already there are people that have numerous petitions, out, outgoing, ready for people to sign. Heck, I got somebody that commented on the video I did yesterday with a link to one of the petitions. There's hotlines already up there, like phone numbers to call, emails, stuff like that. So basically, a lot of people, through the previous experiences, like with Pippa and SOPA and the various battles for net neutrality are basically already set. And with the word about this coming about and probably becoming reality, are already at the ready to try to fight this again, to try to fight this, or at least try to get the FTC to understand, look, things aren't like they were 20 years ago or 20 something years ago when you put this act into motion originally. Things have changed. It's a different atmosphere, and you know, YouTube is, YouTube is a platform for everybody. So as I said before, I think others have said this. Rowdy C, Chris Moore has said this, and many others have said this. I think we're making a big deal out of nothing really, because even Pixel Dan said during his video that even the FTC doesn't know exactly how they're going. Basically, Pixel Dan basically said, I should say, point out that this may not. He even pointed that out. This may or may not affect YouTube and its content creators in a way a lot of people are fearing. But even though he said some of his videos already changed over to where it's like, oh yeah, your review of the Ninja Turtle stuff and Power Ranger stuff and all that, that's for kids, so you can't make money off that. Um, stuff like that. And the point that he's had to go through his many videos himself to just say, okay, that's for kids, that's not for kids, that's for kids, that's for kids. Basically to kind of comply with these new regulations. Yeah, it hurts someone like Dan, and maybe in the long run it's going to be for naught. Maybe he's going to be able to uh, restore a lot of these videos that he had to label as for kids back to the normal status of it's not for kids, and maybe it'll be remain that way. Like I said, they did give a lot of people, monetizing content creators and non-monetizing content creators, the various options to say either yes, my channel is for kids, no, my channel's not for kids, and I would just like to set the settings every time I upload a video of whether or not that video is for kids or not. And ever since I chose that my video is not for kids, as I was, as I was doing this live stream here, and I even uploaded the video yesterday. Well, yeah, I did the live stream here, and even the other day. yesterday, I should say, when I did the live stream with this baby, and now I'm doing this live stream with this phone. Um, and as I did my live stream on my Marvel/DC Comics figures collection, um, there was the option automatically there after I chose, you know, the option of no, my content, my channel is not for kids, already established right then and there when I was doing the live stream or setting up the live stream. It said, no, the channel, this video is not for kids. No, I don't want to restrict to people over 18. So basically, it already kind of acknowledged, okay, most of his channel is not for kids, and I thank God for that, and I really do. But here's the thing: a lot of people are worried about this. A lot of people are already moving content over to various other platforms because they obviously don't trust what's to come in the next month or so. They don't know whether or not their channel, is even going to be existing in the next few months, or even if it does exist, whether or not they'll still be able to make a living off it. So, they're starting to move a lot of the stuff over to various other platforms like, DailyMotion, BitChute, uh, Vimo, and Vio, places like that, Twitch. The finding all these various other sites, video uploading sites, hoping that that's going to be the safe haven, hoping that that'll be the new alternative, the new version of YouTube, or what YouTube used to be. But with that in mind, as the video basically states here, CO this COPPA, the COPPA, isn't just going to be affecting YouTube. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. We all are thinking that this is going to cause the YouTube apocalypse. This is going to start nailing the coffin, start hammering, that this is going to be the beginning of the end of YouTube, and all the nails are going to be put into the coffin of YouTube, and it's going to be buried 6 to 12 feet under, da da da. Here's the thing. As I said yesterday towards the end of my video, we as content creators, monetizing content creators and non-monetizing content creators, which I'm one of those non-monetizing, we're not the only ones that will be affected by this. I mean, already YouTube has had to deal with these changes on its own channels, on its own primary channels here on the site. And you also got to realize there's a variety of studios and record labels and video. There's a variety of movie studios, television, studios, cable networks, cable channels, you know, record labels. I believe I just said gaming public. Oh, okay. Let me put it this way. There is Let me restart that by saying that there is a massive majority of movie studios, television networks, television studios, cable channels, record labels, and even video game publishers that have YouTube pages. Even sports leagues like Major League Baseball, national, like the MLB, Major League Baseball, National Football League, the NFL, National Basketball Association, the NBA, the National Hockey Association, the NHL, and all these various combat sports and sports entertainment promotions, like, of course, WWE, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, Major League Wrestling, MLW, Impact Wrestling, UFC, Bellator, all these places, all these other sports entities and entertainment entities overall have channels here on YouTube. And you think honestly they're going to appreciate the fact that the FTC is coming in and going to make these changes that's going to affect them as well, to where they're going to lose money? Unless they got some kind of stipulation in the contract with YouTube and Google, they too are going to be affected, and they ain't going to go for that. I mean, honestly, when all these other acts came about, from SOPA to PIPA to the various others that have come and gone in the past, all these entertainment and sporting outlets that have YouTube partnerships with YouTube /Google came to the forefront along with us and said, no, what you're planning to do is going to not just hurt these people, but it's going to hurt us as well. So I don't think we have much to worry about. I really don't, because as I said before yesterday, or as I said before in my video yesterday, this is nothing more than a scare tactic. It's a scare tactic. It's basically the equivalent of a parent. It's basically the equivalent of a parent grounding their kid, taking their toy like this and say, okay, I'm grounding you, and I'm also gonna, and you know what? I'm also gonna give this away because apparently this is what you only want to do. So I'm gonna give this away, and oh, I'll give all this away, and I'll give that away. And the kid's like, no, 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 that's wrong. That's not right of you. That's wrong. And then what does the parent do? The parent stops them right there and says, what did you just say I was going to do? Is what? What did you say I was going to do was what? And then that's when the kid thinks, oh, I said it was wrong. And, and once they point that out to the kid, I know it's a bit of a fabrication, but it's relatable in many ways, to where when the kid tells the parent, what you're doing to me is wrong, that's wrong. And then the parent stops and says, what did you say I was doing was what? And then that basically, no matter how old the kid is, it starts to dawn on them, oh, I get it. What I get it. And that's when the kid finally again apologizes and says, you're right. What I did was wrong, and I promise I'll try not to do that again. That's basically the equivalent of what the FTC is doing right now. They are giving YouTube, they are basically grounding YouTube and putting them into the situation of a scare situation, to where YouTube is finally to where they believe, and this is my honest opinion, they believe platforms like YouTube are going to come out and say, no, 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 we're sorry, we're sorry, we're sorry, we're sorry, we're sorry. Basically they're hoping for YouTube to come out and admit, okay, look, you were right, what we did was wrong, we apologize, and we promise, we give you our word, we'll put it in writing that we will try not to do something like what we did, by gathering the data and all that, ever again. That's all it is. That's basically what it is in the end, guys. When you think about it, that's basically what it really is. And I know some people find that hard to believe, and I know, like I said, that was a bit of a fabrication to something that's very relatable to real life, but you get the idea. When a parent says, oh, I'm going to throw this out because you like to play with this, or this controls your life, and I'm just going to give all the other stuff that you made me focus on away, kind of scare the kid to the point when the kid kind of calls the parent out by saying that's wrong what you're about to do. Ooh, it's not fair. And then the parent stops them and said, what did you just say? What I was about to do is what? And then that's when it, not like I said, that's it when it hits the kid. Oh, I see. Okay, I get it. That's when they start to understand what they did was wrong. That's when they start understanding that what they're blaming, that while they're saying what the parent plans to do is wrong, that's when it hits them that, oh, I get it. What you're telling me, what you're basically saying is what I did is basically the kid starts. What I'm trying to say is the kid acknowledges that when they're calling the parent out about what they're going to do is wrong by doing this, and then the parent asks them, wait a minute, what did you just say? And then the kid, that's when it hits the kid. Oh, that's when the kid responds on by saying, because when the parent, what I'm trying to say here, let me get something to drink here because I'm blabbering a little bit. I do apologize. There you go. But anyway, basically, when the parent does something like that, and then finally the kid, and when the kid's calling them out by saying that it's wrong what they're doing, it's not fair, and then the parent stops them and says, well, what did you just say? What did you say I'm doing? Is what? And then that's when it dawns on the kid that what the parent is doing is teaching them a lesson. That even though they're calling the parent out for what they're doing is wrong, that's when it dawns on them, oh, what they did previously, what they're being grounded for, was wrong and not fair. And now they got to make up for it and promise to try not to do something like that again. And that, again, that's as I was saying, that's basically what the FTC is doing with YouTube and Google. They are grounding them like little kids and basically putting them into the situation to the point that eventually they're hoping YouTube and Google will come out and say, okay, we admit we did wrong. We're sorry. Please don't do this. This is going to hurt us financially or all around. And we give you our word. We will try, even put it in the contract, whatever, that we won't do anything like we did before. That's eventually, I believe, what the FTC is hoping. Now, could I be right about that? Am I right about that? Could I be right? Maybe, maybe not. But that's basically what I feel it's the equivalent of. That's basically what I feel it's the equivalent of. And again, I don't think we really have much to worry about because we're not the only ones that will be affected. As I mentioned, you have all these other channels that are on YouTube that are part of all these other companies, entertainment and sports wise. From pro wrestling to baseball to to football to basketball to hockey to college sports to networks like ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, as well as the news outlets that go with them, like ABC News, CBS News, and NBC, CNN, stuff like that. Obviously, and again, you have all these variety of sports and entertainment entities out there, from movies to music and all that, that on that are not going to be in favor of what's going on. They're not going to be in favor of what's going on, and they, like us, are going to do what they can to prevent it. And to prevent it is what I'm saying. But again, I ask you, what makes you think? What makes you think going to another video platform is going to be any different? Let me ask you this: any of you remember VidMe? Everybody thought that was going to be the next YouTube. That would be the new safe haven. What happened to VidMe? Gone. Everybody thought the same thing with Blimp TV. What happened to Blimp TV eventually? Even though it came on, I think, before or after YouTube and really gained traction a little afterwards, or after YouTube did, what happened to Blimp TV? Gone. Again, what happened to VidMe when everybody thought that was going to be the new YouTube? Gone. So what makes you think, and why? Because of, situations behind the scenes? Probably. But also the fact that there was a lot of restrictions going on thanks to a lot of acts happening. So YouTube, the acts that people thought were only going to affect YouTube, and it ended up affecting these other platforms that were a little bit smaller than YouTube, and those platforms disappeared. So what makes you think going to BitChute, Twitch, Dailymotion, Vimeo, or any other platform is going to be any different? Do you think BitChute, with all due respect when I say this, do you think do you not think they won't be affected eventually? They will be. They will be. Because they may be starting out like YouTube did it back, 13, 14 years ago? But eventually, they too are going to be caught up in this. The same with Dailymotion. The same with Vimeo. The same with Vio. The same with Twitch. No video uploading platform where you can upload videos or live stream is going to not be affected by this. The only reason people fear that YouTube, the only reason why people are afraid this is going to bring down YouTube is because YouTube's the biggest target. But eventually, the other platforms will be affected as well. And that's what you have to think about. Heck, you think the new Mixer platform won't be affected by this? Of course it will be. Again, so will BitChute, so will Vimeo, so will Vio, so will Dailymotion, so will Twitch.tv. They will all be affected by this. YouTube is only being singled out by the millions, if not billions, of users that it has and content creators it has because of the fact that it's the bigger, more well-renowned worldwide target. That's why it's being. That's why basically people fear for its existence, for their existence. Because unlike the other platforms where they could make a living off those too, they don't make as good of a living financially on those platforms as they do YouTube. That's why they fear. That's why they're fearful. But again, you have to ask yourself, are you jumping ship or backing up or jumping and backing up onto another ship just in case? Are you doing it? Are you doing it because you feel YouTube's coming to an end? And or are you doing it out of fear? Well, that too, I should say. Are you doing it out of fear? That's the big question. Because again, do you think it's going to make any difference eventually? Any difference eventually? No, because even though YouTube's a bigger target, and that's why people are more fearful and angry and complacent, especially those that are content creators that make money off their channels. Do you think it's not going to eventually trickle down towards these other platforms? It will, because YouTube could be just the beginning, and then eventually BitChute will be affected, Dailymotion, Vimeo, Twitch, you name it. Nobody's going to be safe from something like this. So you have to think, okay, something's going to happen, but like Pixel Dan said in his video, we don't know whether or not it's truly going to be affecting anybody in the end. Again, like I said, it might just be a scare tactic. That's all it is. So we'll have to wait and see. Because again, you don't just have content creators that make money or don't make money off their channels. You also have all these variety of entertainment and sports entities out there that also have a YouTube channel. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't think we have anything to. So I think what we need to do is pray, give it to God, and let Him handle it. And give it to Him. Pray. All we have to do is pray to God, give it to Him, put it in His hands, give the glory to Him, and let Him handle it. And if the FTC is willing to listen to us, willing to listen to us, as they say, as Pixel Dan pointed out in his video, they're willing to do, then only God willing, someone will come out and acknowledge that this is not as bad as we think it is. And also think of it this way too: if they're still learning about Coppa, this Protection Act, if you will, ropes about it, and how to maybe update it for a modern time, then I don't think we have anything to worry about for quite some time. Yes, it does take effect. It does take effect at the beginning of the year, but I don't think we'll have much to worry about after that. I really don't. I mean, and honestly, guys, I say this with all due respect. There are people in the government right now that, like our families, like our parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts and all that, that are very old school. They're old school, so they don't quite grasp the importance of a platform like YouTube or anything like that. And because basically what they see with something like YouTube is just an excuse for people to sit on their butts, use their cameras or their computers or whatever to make videos and make easy money instead of going out and get a regular job. And mainly those that are behind this COPP Act, especially now with what's going on, some of them could comprise of those old school people that'd rather see someone like a Pixel Dan or Joe Vargas, Angry Joe Show, or Lynn Cara, Ara, if you will, and go out and get a regular job to the point that Maybe they're hoping someday a Joe Vargas will come on camera, do a vlog, and you'll see him wearing you know, a Target uniform. Or the same with Pixel Dan. Pixel Dan will come on camera, do a vlog, and he'll wear um, a Kohl's uniform. Who knows? That's what some of these people are actually hoping for. Those old school people that even those in the government are trying to bring up to date and try to make them realize, hey, look, this is how things are going now, and this is how we need to maybe change the COPP Act to adjust to these times and not keep it back to what it was 20 something years ago. So that's one way maybe of looking as to why they're now kind of pushing this a lot more than they usually are. But again, I don't think we have anything to worry about. I think all we need to do is pray, give it to God, put the glory in His. We have to pray, give it to God, give all the glory to Him, and let Him handle it. Because if the FTC says they're willing to listen to us, then God's going to move the FTC and those in charge that say they're willing to listen to us in the right direction to make the right decision that won't affect any of us. So that's all I'm going to say on it, guys. Because again, like I said, what's the difference if you what's the because again you have to ask yourself what difference is it gonna make if you jump to another platform knowing that the only reason the only reason you're fearful about YouTube's future is because it's the biggest target, and that jumping to another platform is going to be the saving grace, when in fact, honestly, eventually they could be affected too down the line. Like YouTube's a starting point, and then it's going to trickle down to these other platforms. You got to think about that. You got to think about that before you do anything. So that's all I'm going to say, guys. But let me know what your thoughts are down below. Thank you all for watching live. And any of you that commented in the live stream, I do appreciate it. But again, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think I have a point in what I just said? And what are your thoughts on the whole COPPA deal? Do you think people are making too much of a big deal out of it? Or do you think they have a right to be a little fearful? Let me know down below, and I'll talk to you all later.